Hey guys, this is No Name Hero. Today I'm going to show you the build of my newest summon build for Demon Hunter. I think this is probably the only build that really works in high level PvP. As you can see here, I'm number one here in Legend rank on the leaderboard. So every day I face a lot of whales. So you can only really use summon build because or else you get one shot. Because DH right now have no survivability. Other than just running away. So if you use anything else, you get one shot by this whale, and you have no impact, right? And then the key to making this build works is like it's not an easy build to make because the gems have to be right, the set item have to be right. You have to make sure your also you have bonuses that are right. So let me just show you from the gems, right? So from the gems, I have Bloodsoul Jade. That's pretty obvious. Every PvP build needs this. Wolf Heart. This is like kind of like your Grace set. It does damage. Uh, if you hit them, if you damage them with something, it just keeps doing damage to them. It's kind of like a mini Grace. Seeping Bio, basically poison. Starfire Shard. This is the only gem that actually give you some. This is basically your only CC, right? But it works pretty well with summons. Rolling Consequence. This is a must-have gem for every PvP build. Pin Claps, like basically give you more damage when they're suffering from like Viper's Bite or Seeping Bio from you. Viper's Bite, basically more dot damage. And then for the last slot, actually, you can use Everlasting Torment. It probably works because you get even more dot damage. But I use Bottled Hope because it gives me a little bit more resonance and then a little bit more tankiness against the big whales. But Everlasting Torment works just fine. And for the set item, I think the best ones are Eggman. Give you extra chance to have ignite, so this is extra dot damage basically, right? If you hit them, there's 15% chance to do even more damage. And then Grace, again, basically, if you hit him with dots or anything, right, you get more damage. Every time you hit them 5 times. So these things work so well with your summon. And for the essences, basically best discretion, you want to be escaping like all the time because you want to get away. And this one buff your strife damage pretty significantly. And Expediting Violence basically allow you to escape to, yeah, this is the only escape that actually works for PvP. You must have this, like I think all DH must have this in order to be functional in PvP, or you just die. And this one gives you crit when you escape. Some people use the pants that give you the shield, but since I don't have any crit on my set items, so I must use this one to give me more damage. And I feel like the survivability is fine because I use double dash. And then this one, Unrelenting Fury, it gives you more strife duration. You must have this. And then this one give you basically a rocket, right? This is a lot of damage. Fellow Farm, so now your strike become a summon, pretty obvious. And Electrum Luna, basically you fire your chakra like basically it's like your CC. And also the key thing with this build, you need 4 out of 4 strife here. You see, even though this gear is like not even Paragon 700, but I still have to have this just to keep my 4 out of 4 strife because it's so important. Look at the damage of 4 out of 4 strife, right? So typically your summon is only doing 5,880 damage. But look at this 4 out of 4 strife. You have 60% chance to fire additional bolt doing 8,542 damage. That's a lot more damage, right? Even though it's It's not 100%, but like that's a lot of extra, almost doubles your damage. And also the rocket does a lot of damage too, so yeah. And then also keep in mind, you want to stack player damage and player taking damage. This is not strife in PvP, so this is the most important thing for you. And for the Paragon, this is what I'm using for Tower War. No, actually, this is the wrong one. Let me see, disactivate this one. Yeah, this one I'm using on Tower War. Cheat deaths are pretty obvious. This one you do more player damage and take less damage, pretty obvious. And this one basically just give you more damage, more crit chance, more attack speed. Because I'm using summon, usually I stay in the back, I can escape, I can run away with daring swing, so I don't die that much, so it's not too hard for me to stack 5 kills, which give me a lot more extra damage. And then for Tower War, I use this one because it gives me more size, so I can even run faster. And speed is the key in Tower War, so that's why also for the Warband buff, I have the increased block chance, because this one, most importantly, increase my size, which increase my speed. So this is for Tower War. For Battleground version is slightly different, but it's pretty much the same. Everything is the same except the Paragon's a little bit different. Instead of this one, I've used this one because in Battleground, people are more, you're closer to your party member, so you can get the damage reduction more consistently. And yeah, I forgot to show, like, Lightning Rod is the best legendary skill for this. And then for the Warband buff for Battleground, you want to be using Attacker because you get a lot more damage. Because in Battleground, you're not really, you don't need to run that much space. Like, with these dashes, you can almost cover the full place. So you can afford to move a little bit slower because the map is a lot smaller. That's kind of, and then I will post in my description the fights I have with this build. So it's one of the best builds I've been using. After I use this build and I'm playing Legend, I think I'm winning at like 80% rate. Because like it's just hard for people to kill me and I actually do a lot of damage. Like people underestimate summon DH damage because they tried it with some of the essence and it doesn't work, right? But if you perfect the summon DH with the correct setup, the gems, the 4/4 strive, the right set items, like it does a lot of damage actually. Yeah, so I'll show you in the video. Like I'm top damage in a lot of lobbies where I'm like third in terms of residents and secondaries. Actually third or fourth, right? So there's bigger whales than me, they're doing less damage than me. And also the important thing is you want to have your high potency and high armor penetration with this build. You want to prioritize that. I haven't been able to get my potency up too much. I'm trying right now, and also armor penetration because before I didn't play a build that requires high potency. But for this build, you want high potency because you want your dot to last as long as possible, and which they help you trigger these set effects too, right? So ideally, I want my potency to be 5k and more, and then my armor penetration 5k. And you can get away with some lower armor and resistance in this build because usually you're away from the fights. So check out my description down below for the fights. Thank you, everybody.